The man, the master, the marvel. Salvador Dali is one of the most celebrated artists of all time. Intelligence without ambition is like a bird without wings. Salvador Dali. I have done my research on Salvador Dali, just starting from Wikipedia, going to Goalcast and salvadordali.org and thedali.org. He has quite a bit of websites, actually. After my research, I discovered his life story, which was pretty interesting. So I would say Salvador Dali never had a chance at being normal from the start. He was born 9 months after his older brother, Salvador, passed away. And so his family told him when he was 5 years old that he was Salvador reincarnated. That really haunted him throughout his life. He said they were like two drops of water, but they had different reflections. And that he probably was Salvador reincarnated. That was just him too pure, so he had to be remade. His brother showed up a lot throughout his career in his artwork. In 1963, he even had a portrait called Portrait of My Dead Brother. Dali had lots of fits of anger growing up. It was often combated with violence from his dad or violence from other classmates. Besides the abuse, him and his dad had a bad relationship because they were fighting over Dali's mom's affection. Even though there was the abusive situation, his parents realized that he was talented at a very young age, and they built him an art studio and sent him to art school. Both of his parents were supportive, but his mother was even more supportive of everything he did. His mother died when he was only 16 years old. She had cancer. He said it was the biggest blow he had ever experienced in his life. After his mom died, his dad married his mom's sister. Dali says he didn't resent the marriage because he had love and respect for his aunt. In 1922, Salvador Dali went to an academy in Madrid, and that is really when his fun personality came out and began to shine. He grew like a long curly mustache, which he's still very well known for today. He would just dress in very different clothes. He didn't look like anybody else. Despite all that, he was still really well known for his classmates for his use of cubism. He was the only cubist in Madrid at the time. Cubism is when you take an image and you kind of take it apart and interlock these cubes to make the image. It's awesome. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend seeing it for yourself. My words don't do it justice. Salvador Dali was very highly inspired by Sigmund Freud. He really loved dreams, and I think you can tell from his artwork that he did like Sigmund Freud. His Melting Clocks is some really famous paintings that he did, and when he was asked about the symbolism behind it, he said he was inspired by a wheel of melting cheese. Knowing him, I don't think that was quite what was going on. I think that he just really wanted the viewer to be able to look at the painting and be able to tell their own story and see what it meant for them in their own lives. Now, we've had some people make some guesses that time just escaped Salvador Dali and didn't matter when he was painting. And some other people said that it was when your sleeping time escapes you, and he just really wanted to represent that. Now, in 1980, he had to stop painting. He lost the ability in his hands to be able to paint. In 1982, he lost his wife. Now, between losing his beloved wife and the coping mechanism that he had all his life, he went into a deep depression. In 1984, he moved to his castle in Pubel, and he was severely burned there and lost his ability to walk. So he was confined to a wheelchair and just defeated. So his friends brought him to Teatro Muso, and he died there soon after. He died of heart failure and was buried in Teatro Muso. That's where most people's stories end, right? Well, not for this guy. 38 years after he was buried, there was a 61-year-old lady, Maria Martinez, and she said that Salvador Dali was her father. And she went to court and really pushed it. So the courts made them dig up his body so they could do a paternity test on him. He wasn't the father. So his body was disturbed for no reason. So I'm not saying your life isn't hard, but sometimes when you look at other people, you realize you don't have it as bad as you think you do.